Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Sim. Waves are beginning to die down.
I'll just keep the Corda Lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way.
Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Hello, Detective. It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself. Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Corda Lacey red. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White. How do I like it?
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name, all the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear. All right. Politics time. Let's react.
Oh, I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never...
Above you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds, twisting into each other. The wind tugs and stretches them over the bay. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachol West. Wherever they pass, the temperature drops slightly, but perceptibly.
Have I told you how they discovered this place? No, they're in Celindian, Isola. I'm guessing you don't know then. Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty. I knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians will never know what this place means. Our home. This island of matter. Or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location? Godspeed, Detective.
This medicine cabinet is stocked with drugs, plus an old toothbrush. There it is. The orange sap feels like gold in your hands, light and precious.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
The date of your re-entry into the fossil record.
Wow. That's some creation myth stuff right there. Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it. No problem, sir. I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
She smiles. A bitter little smile. She means it.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
The wet wind, heavy with brine and industrial pollution from the stacks nearby, ruffles her hair.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility. I don't know what to say. None of this is fortuitous for me. The what? Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. I mean, there's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her. For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on. Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I'm the love that does people in, remember?
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Lies.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear.
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is.
There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking.
That is the emergency's desk number. Anyone could know that, sire. by looking around and calling the desk. I don't believe a single word she says. She stands before you, holding her back very straight.
What? 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 What?
She slowly lights. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The bear's eyes are still. The body is reluctant to let go of the boots. Whatever you're planning to do, you need to do it before you catch pneumonia in the cold draft coming from deep inside the fridge. It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock. It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two. Just relax. This is easy. This is happening. See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's too heavy to move by yourself. A great mass of dead muscles. This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh. Not good. Let's pin this on the bear. The ice bear tore up his legs with its claws. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them thoroughly. Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen? These boots were probably left on the corpse because they were impossible to pull off while it was hanging. They're not exactly pleasant to look at right now, much less smell. Hopefully, you will know who they belonged to very soon. The size seems about right. Once you get the foul-smelling flesh gunk out, you've seen too much to be that naive. This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. Getting the corpse residue out of these boots is going to require patience, and also a huge pot full of boiling water, soap, and white vinegar. A commercial pot draws your attention. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. There is also a bottle of white vinegar in the cabinet next to the fridge. It's bad with those boots. Don't be stingy now. The delicious smells of cheap soap and vinegar waft up from the pot. All right now, chef, light up the stove and boil them. The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil. Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. A two-course dinner of rotting flesh and hardened ceramic. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too, just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam, dense with the smell of strange meat, disappears into the vent above the stove. A pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.
Hey, was there something you needed? Hey, got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons. The water doesn't feel particularly clean. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks like sad duckies. You pause to think before letting your head go under. Hold it right there. Keep your head above water, or you'll lose all those pheromones Morel sprayed on you. The lukewarm water is comforting, like amniotic fluid. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin. The bed is still cold from the broken window and not too inviting, but it's yours. The room behind your closed eyelids is familiar now, the only home you've ever known. Its darkness gathers. The last thing you hear is the wind blowing in through the broken window. Then something comes, a kind of sleep.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Hear that? You are naive to think he's afraid of his bloodied hands. Soul brother. Oh no, I see inside his amygdala and his hippocampus. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
Don't tell him, sister.
They're right. This is their function. To keep you from it.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream. The worst of them all.
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
Of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay. Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Yes?
Hey, was there some...
Yes? What is it? That was pretty good, Harry. Wasn't it, Jean?
That was. Yeah, that was absolute shit, if you want my opinion. Drunken shit. Haven't wanted anything to end this badly since I had cluster headaches. Horrible. Truly horrible. I beg of you, don't ever subject anyone to this torture again.
Jean, it's not right. Don't make it worse. And I really liked it.
She actually did.
Hello, officer. I think...
Oh, hello, sweet.
Fuck does Kuno care? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about books.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison!
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
Lame. That rings some bells. Could this be connected to Night City? AKA...
Oh god, Kuno, no! It's gonna happen now. They're gonna make you lame.
Stop it, see. No one's gonna make anyone lame. Kuno's got this under control.
There's definitely something going on here. You should check out Kuno's shack, the one with the pig's head.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in? Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
You can't do that, Kuno.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right? Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
What?
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself.
Fuck your shit back to normal.
Well played. No one saw that coming.
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old.
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
You could use some.
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a battle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're...
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno...
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows, like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants?
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well. Yes, I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough. If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The phasmid did not take the bait from the... But what do...
Use your powers of deduction.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things.
Fuck does Kuno care? Yeah. Kuno took the bugs. So what?
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
Locusts coming down like a shadow. This must be the night city he mentioned.
Yeah, Locust City. City of rage. City of lights.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're...
An artist? Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no rules here, pig. I fucking say I when I wanna, and Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
So that's what this is about. Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. You've got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. She was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno. She doesn't know whether to be glad because Kuno is finally convinced of the lameness, or more worried because of his continued use of the first person singular. Kuno is Kuno, not I.
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame. Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
He recognizes the name.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
It's not Kuno. It's Kuno S. Kuno S is by far the worst of the two. Kuno has no problem being near you, but the other hides behind the fence, afraid for her life, like she's done something very bad. Also, Kuno hasn't stopped talking to you, even enjoys it from time to time. When you talk to the other one, it's like talking to a cornered animal. She only hisses and says murder was the case that they gave her. All in all, Kuno respects madness. You cannot hope to outdo her on that front. You must win yourself a few minutes with him alone.
Fuck you whispering about?
He's whispering too. He's going with it. But watch what happens.
Fuck you whispering about!
She puts extra stress onto that word, expecting it will make you uncomfortable.
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
This is it. You've got him. But be careful. You can still fuck this up. Don't make Kuno look bad in this.
Crazy? You don't know the half of it. She's not crazy. She's insane. Dangerous. She's smoked a man. She's done people in. Probably even pigs.
Stop talking to him! Kuno, I'm fucking warning you! You're gonna get us into shit!
She understands what you're trying to do.
Yo, see? Did Kuno not tell ya? Kuno told ya. Kuno talks to whoever he wants. Talk, pig. Kuno's got it under control.
You did it. They're separated. He's even turned his back to her so she can't read his lips.
Fuck no, she's not me sister. She's just a stray who got in. Like a mad dog or some shit. Yeah, she was just there.
What was that, Kuno?
She was in the hallway, dripping wet, by the fucking shoe rack, in the dark. Yeah, that's the place. She was just balled up near the closet, psycho style. Kuno's got no fucking idea. Her hair was all wet. I think she pissed on the floor too. She was there for 3 days, in the corner, every time Kuno went out. I dunno, someone left the door open. Kuno comes home and she's sleeping under the desk, under the pile of clothes, like a dog. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit. Doesn't even see her there, or thinks it's fucking Kuno. Shit's all on Kuno.
Kuno S, two of a kind.
Kuno means she killed someone. That's right, she's a killer. Like, actually a killer.
His little green eyes are fixed on yours. He's meant everything he said before. But right now, he not only means it, he is sincere.
Killing is serious shit. Kuno's always serious about the 488.
488. The criminal code doesn't go higher than 190.
She's probably killed a pig too. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has. I knew you pigs were too naive for this shit. Good thing Kuno's got her under control. Kuno keeps her calm.
A cop would be too large for her to overpower, but a determined child of her size can still kill the vulnerable, the elderly, the homeless, or other children. The creature peers at you both from over the fence. There is something searching in her eyes.
Kuno wasn't around, and C was with Kuno. Told you this already. Look, Kuno's gonna put you at ease. We didn't do it.
He speaks the truth, my liege. Kuno falls silent. He does not look at you when he replies.
Kuno, that's it. That's what Kuno is starting to think, yeah. 'Cause she fucking looks like Kuno. No one knows her name. Kuno calls her C. Yeah, she's psycho. None of that kiddie psycho, cat burning shit. She does the real deal. Snuff radio shit. Believe me, pig, you don't want to know.
And he doesn't even want to think about it. This isn't just another boast.
Fuck knows. She says it's the song of her people or some shit. Crazy people. The fucking Nakis. I don't know.
It's Suruese. The Suru are an indigenous ethnic minority in the social democratic powerhouse Vasa on the tundra and tiger-covered Isola of Katla. Far, far away from here. As far as possible, really.
Suruese? Like that man from Helmdall shit? She could be. She could be that Helmdall shit.
Revelshot does have a small Suruese community, or she climbed into a yakberry crate and was shipped over accidentally.
How's Kuno dealing? Kuno's dealing just fine. He doesn't need you fucking with any of it. C doesn't either. Kuno's got this shit under control. Listen, listen. C is Kuno's go-to. Kuno's protecting her. You fuck with C, you fuck with Kuno. You threaten her, you threaten to take her away.
This is what it all comes down to. He needs you to take him seriously now.
I'm going to kill you. I'll run when you put the cuffs on her, sneak up on you later, and fuck you up. You understand? Alright, now we can do business. Yeah? What do you want? Kuno can hook you up with...
Don't hook him up with shit, Kuno.
See? Relax. He respects the Kuno. Kuno made him respect the Kuno. You respect the Kuno, you get all kinds of shit. Kuno's gonna get you hooked on illegal narcotics if you run a little errand for the Kuno. Get you hooked, pig. Get his hook in you. Then Kuno gonna get you hooking for more. Cash in big style. Pig hooker. See, it's tension and release with Kuno. Now we releasing. The pan buying shit, that's on now too. 90% discount for Kuno's pig. Kuno flexes for hobos. Kuno sees you're in need. Kuno gets it from his dad. Kuno and his dad are major suppliers. That's where Kuno gets his lightning on. Problem is, Kuno and his dad had a little falling out. Now junkies clawing at Kuno's door. Streets going mad. Kuno's got to throw his dirty popo man at it. Dirty popo man is you. In there is Kuno's violent dad on steroids. Kuno's dad does steroids and speed. If you can take him, you can have half of the speed. Kuno's dad is a fucking monster. He's the most violent man in Revachol. He doesn't give a shit about a single thing. He drinks too.
Are you sure you can take on the most violent man in Revachol?
Like half. A baggie, but like in this vial.
That's half a gram, sir.
Yeah, half a G. Want it or not? Fuck you talking about half a G? This shit is giant grade A shit. So clean you can barely see it.
You can barely see it because there's barely any.
Okay, Kuno's listening. Sure, whatever. If you survive, make sure to bring that shit back to Kuno. Kuno's almost out. You wouldn't like the Kuno when he's out. Just get in the apartment building. Kuno knows you already fucked your way in. Kuno knows everything. Go to room 12, first floor, and kick down the door. Police violence style. Kuno style. And then it's action time. You're locked in the room with violent fuckheads. That's it. Next time Kuno sees you, you better have his shit.
What the hell are you signing us up for here? Okay then.
Here, pig. We're fun now. Performance buddies. Kuno can already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now. Money debt?
Money debt doesn't mean anything.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. Winter's grip on the city is loosening. The spring thaw is here. Your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your jacket grow heavy. The cold finds its way under your skin. You shiver, and the city shivers with you. You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat or a patrol cloak. Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinaise. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky. The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. Will you ever go there? No, you are just one of the hundreds of thousands who watch them rise across the bay from Martinez' urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs, cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction, a defunct research and development building once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water. Coal City, end of all lines. Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash. There's a fleet on the corner. A plastic coat is folded into a small triangle under the counter by the window. Beyond that, the strikebreakers have gathered. The great gates of the industrial harbour are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide. Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within. La Drusienne, King Dries passenger harbour. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms. Cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary. Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain. A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river. Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. radios play. The morning news. A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. The lingering odor of decomposition mixes with that of damp soil. A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised. The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock. Revachol is the capital of the world. Jamrock is the capital of Revachol. Droplets form on your eyelashes. It's home. To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed. Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland.
Have a brother in the cut. Where the wood at?
In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes. More coalition aerostatics, way up there.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. I'd recommend you put on your coat.
In the morning light, the white on blue police livery on the motor carriage cannot but catch your eye. Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Kinema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse with its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox. The Kinema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kinema effectively a mobile power plant. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? 130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
Yeah, you know it? Yes, that's right. I'm very impressed that you know these things. Yes, an extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first. You want to help? Thank you for the offer. That might be fun.
He liked the idea. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Elis Kortenaer. That's T-I-N-A-I-F. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, '09. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2.
According to Klasia, Lele said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
None, officer. Sorry.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice.
No problem, Lieutenant.
A name. This is very good. Elise Cortenard.
This means something to him, to know that name, like naming a case.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? 57th.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
This is precinct. Yes. Hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
You hit.
Anything else I can... 50...
In the cabin, you see... Honorable One, you have accumulated a substantial amount of honor points on your life path. You are a man most virtuous. Of course there were honor points. Did you think no one was paying attention to all of your honorable deeds, Honorable One? Oh, the modesty on this one. Another 10 honor points for you, sir. You are on the fast track to becoming one of the rarest, most revered of all police officers, an honor cop. Living in the name of virtue and doing noble deeds while expecting nothing in return is not archaic. How can you even think that? Selflessness forms the basis for the warrior code, an ageless code, as fit for nomadic Ilmaran tribes traversing the vast red plateau in Provincia Gordi as it is for your neighborhood postman. No, no, no. You see, you're putting the needs of others above yours. You get nothing in return, not even praise. You always get the short, noble end of the stick. Don't think about it too much. Just say it. Are you ready to get knee-deep in honor? Yes, your deeds have spoken for you, Honorable One. But to fully drape oneself in an eternal cloak of honor, a ritual must be completed. A rite of honor. Even among the honorable, only the most dignified are deemed worthy. But you, O Honorable One, have excelled in honor. Honor comes from deep within you, and to truly know oneself, to know one's honor, one must reach deep within oneself and touch one's honor. You need to bring the thumb of your right hand, your sword hand, to your rectum and stick it in there to form the Arch of Honors. People will be in awe, admiring a police officer most honorable, in a sacred ritual of uttermost righteousness.
What are you doing? The big deal? I guess we really do come from different upbringings.
Good. That was a lie, most honorable. Sometimes we must hide the truth from those who wouldn't understand it. The less honored ones. Congratulations, honorable one. You have become a member of a noble faculty. Go forth and commit even more honorable deeds. And should your resolve ever waver, remember the right of honor. It is an honor to serve with you, Honor Cop.
Yes?
Before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. Before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, and as it's always been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric.
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Now, what can Everard Clare do for you today? The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything.
Judging from how happy he is, it looks like you did it. Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me. An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that?
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady.
There it is again. The pigs. Like Roy said.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry.
It sounds like a very disturbed and desperate individual. We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast, the one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Harry! By now, you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset! I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce. Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on. Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there.
There is true indignation in his voice, and then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in Azon hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
You would look nice as a statue.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace. Order it. You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that. Glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes because sugar and fat was all my mother had to give me and my brother Edgar when we were kids. Good job too, as it made me ugly. And ugly people, Harry, are much better at politics.
That is true. People don't trust pretty people.
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war. I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies.
He crosses his hands contently, thinking of the interior temperature of the wasp rising.
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste. Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damned coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her asshole. She has no chance. Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening. No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. A guy, huh?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist.
He really doesn't.
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol. And they're all well motivated, at least the ones you've seen.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samarin Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities. The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, Large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
You know why you're such a good detective, Harry? You don't get sidetracked. You care about the people you're supposed to protect, not some systems that may or may not be unethical. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez. Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth, and everyone's going to pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys, Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering? Harry, the future I have in store for Martinez will have all the macho aesthetics you love so much. The crowns, the guns. I will even slip in a skull and bones for you, my friend.
Oh yeah, skull and bones. Skull and bones on the Revacholian flag. The Revacholian Death Squad. Oh yeah, the visual image has completely bedazzled you. You're 100% with Everard now.
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such great... This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together. I'm always happy to educate... Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. An old...
This month...
Yes.
Union...
The neighbor...
Waving the gun around...
I already...
She will...
More fun stuff.
Very nice, Harry. Is there anything else? Most certainly, Harry. So they shot him.
He was shot in the head before he was hanged.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If by all means, Harry.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old... Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing. Mr. Everett doesn't really want me to talk to people about Union. Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. Huh? Sure, mister. He's a Union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Whoa, he's really something. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fell. Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through.
He's probably one of those rare
The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I'd best not. Sure, mister.
You're back before the cargo container.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this.
Right to work! The tear machine stabbed. Your bottles clunk into the... This orange machine is dead. The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
All right. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same. The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone. Hell, most likely. He was an absolute cunt. His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Did he feel like he has to prove he can still pull his weight? Doesn't need handouts?
Guess he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time. Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, 'cause he's gonna be buried without it. No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing your high could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now, he just wants to move on.
I repeat, an absolute can't. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to. We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that... Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were? In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that. Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny... I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me. It is what it is, part of life really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore. About anything really. But you must need something. René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies. That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests. There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. They called them the bells of revolution. I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the old Insulinde. The royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
But you feel the dried flower in your hand somehow still does matter, although not to this sad old man.
Yes? What about René? It is I just don't...
Trying to sneak up on me again!
The door is closed again. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine tenderness.
There'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place. Fat chance, but you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
She throws you a conspiratorial glance, then presses her finger to her lips and squints up at the sky, as though straining to hear something in the distance.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hear a gunshot pierce the air somewhere in Jamrock. But in Martinez, no gunshots, no sirens. The people are languishing in boredom and complacency. This place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. We bring the raucous, you bring the sirens.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
You don't have the skills to execute something like this in practice, but, oh boy, the idea's going to blow her fucking mind. She squints her eyes.
On fire. I say, sod off. You don't have the technical skills to do that. I like your idea. Should have thought of it myself. I don't need this kind of competition in my neighborhood. Then get your brush from fucking art.
Oops, my apologies. I guess I was trying too hard. You're a police officer and a grown-up. Why are you trying to impress her? Maybe try a different approach, like climbing up there.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
And I need an aircraft carrier. So what? Have you got any kids? But fine, take the brush.
You know what you've got in that fuel canister you scavenged from your Kanema? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil.
Give me a moment. Doritos, are at the end of this hallway, right next to the communal bathroom. It's about Victor, isn't it? It's always about Victor with her. You'll find the Maisons in apartment 20. I'm no one, if you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the coal room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony slippery. She hasn't spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rusty. Paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind. You've spoken. The wall will now silently repeat the message for a decade or so, until the sea air degrades the paint, adding another layer of detritus to the city.
Hi, Ace Detective.
Hello again, esteemed officer.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its... Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. The rest of the speaker...
Good morning. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Good. Good. Fortress accident. One fortress accident.
That's not bad.
Any other questions? I will...
On an island on the river Esperance, doesn't it get lonely?
Lonely?
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything...
Tiles on the cube are still with a quiet determination. The printer starts printing. It's a project report written by the lead producer. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule. In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident SCA managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Real. Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 Real. Let's just say it was a real adventure. Fortress Accident employed 18 people. The bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations. Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists? It didn't. No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skip to work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules. One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good. The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy. Not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers, with their panic attacks and 3-hour lunches. It was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team. They tried to make a 4 million Real game with 400,000 in their bank account. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower, and they couldn't. No, even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared. That is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads. At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jimsk-born Sulisław Jalisa, decided that what Wirral Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor. The world had never seen their kind before, and might never again. So many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined. Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here. What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop? And that's it. Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss. On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end, where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness, before the Egonian investors pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front, just as the Wirral Untethered project was being compiled that day. When the project was returned, it was completely blank. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss. Mysteriously enough, it seems that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when the catastrophic data loss occurred. It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. S. Luukinen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch. I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal. Her former colleagues would agree with you. The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later. 4 months later, by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream switched to making skis, and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez, all of it. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian front on that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location. I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out it's only 800 meters from here. The address is Saint-Brun 1147. I am going there to look this thing in the eye. Saint-Brun 1147? That's what the street sign next to the church said. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Very good. That will be 7 real for 1 custom die. 1 universal die for Wiro Untethered.
It feels icy. Just holding this die in your hand sends a jolt of cold down your spine.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can only produce 1 die per customer.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Inside, seems like an old weapon. It means this is a good... This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churn. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. You need to have the Gevalsen...
Equip the multi-tool.
Only the red cable is plugged into the... Only the red and electric sizzle. The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been cut off. weathered brown door. Something smells good. This is the door.
Hello? Who is it?
And someone turns down the radio.
The police. A moment, please.
Tidying up. Nervously. There's fear in her voice.
Come in. The door is open.
It's you from the bookstand. Did you come to bring my cockatoo back? I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy. Would you like something to drink? Tea? Lemonade? We're out. Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what. No. This is something much worse. Is he in the hospital? How bad is it?
How about some small talk before you break the news? Definitely no small talk. This isn't the time or place.
It's me, Victor, and the kids here. We have 2 daughters, Jenny and Jolie. Jolie is 16 and Jenny is turning 18 next month. The girls are staying at their friend's place tonight. And Victor is out. He has a problem with drinking, and so he disappears every now and then. He's probably in the parks drinking with his friends. I sent him to the library a few days ago, but I guess something came up. No, I guess I'll find out when he decides to come back home. It shouldn't be long from now. Oh, it's in Jamrock. The one at Mayro Street. I don't know the official name. I think, yes.
It is.
Just to return a book of mine? Why? Why all those questions, Detective? Did he
do something? Break something? It's a fool's hope.
I think it was Thibaut's The Glinting Curve. It was pretty good. His old leather jacket. It's just your average brown leather jacket, but he bought it as a teenager, so... Yes, the lining is hand-sewn. It's blue. I tried to make the thing more weatherproof since he's running around with it in the middle of winter.
She folds her hands across her chest.
How have I been?
Can't write a scene without knowing the actors. Ask more. Get comfortable around her. She looks up, too anxious to say, I don't want to. I don't want to do this.
Say what?
Too late. You ruined it. Just say it now.
Excuse me? What? What did you say?
She's in pain. She's in so much pain. And so are you. Your chest is burning.
Where? Did he run away? Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I just need I don't know what to say. I guess what I want to know is, how did he die? And you just found him there?
lying in the cold. How long had he been there?
She doesn't reply. Her eyes well up with tears as she struggles to keep it together. You hear the clock ticking in the children's room.
No. I just need to tell my girls.
Unreal.
God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home?
All right, I'll call them. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him?
For God's sake, lie.
And who should I contact?
RCM? I wish Kim was here.
All right, I'll call the RCM then. A brain condition.
No, stop now. She just nods, distant and inconsolable. The bed springs rattle beneath her as she begins to shake.
I'll take it from here. Thank you.
A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges, secured to the doorframe with a safety chain. An unpaid energy bill is attached, threatening to cut off the electricity. It's addressed to Mr. Uno Doroita. No response. The apartment numbers have fallen off the door, leaving the panel with a sticky 1 shaped shadow and a marker drawn 2. You'll need to equip the chain cutters to enter. Snip right through the metal. A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges. Snip. The cutter goes through them like dead leaves. You can just go in now. A phone book lies open on the table, covering a stack of utility bills. Right next to it, in plain sight, sits a small bottle of amphetamine, conveniently equipped with a straw. You pocket the bottle as if it were the most natural thing in the world. bundle of clothes heaped on the bed, a stained parka, some towels and a duvet, some socks even. In the dark, it looks like a nest. Something underneath there is breathing. It's not too late. No one's going to blame you for backing out. You don't have to do this. Just get out. Your hand touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns and ketchup stains. You hear a growl. There is something alive underneath it. You see a 60-year-old, fat, red-headed man passed out from large amounts of alcohol and God knows what else. The smell of shit rises from his mouth. You don't have to take him down. He's already down. A lump of flesh is sticking out from under the blanket. It seems to be twitching from time to time, like the paw of an animal who's having a bad dream. And look, the other foot is camouflaged by a striped sock bearing the name Maxtor on the sole. 3 toes are poking out of a hole. Maxtor is a gas company. He's wearing free socks from a gas company. They probably came with the bills. A groan rises from the man's throat, dry like a death rattle. He's trying to say something in his sleep. The light from the window is weak, but it seems like he is. His wild, unwashed mane bears a familiar ginger tone. Don't forget his face, the bloated and reddened cheeks, the bulbous nose. This would be Kuno after 30 years of alcohol and substance abuse. No response. A pair of half-open bug eyes is staring back at you from the dark, empty and frozen. It's clear that the person behind them is not awake.
Fucking
The pile of blankets grunts. A change in the socio-economic circumstances wouldn't hurt. Silence. Only heat emanates from the sleeping body. The man groans once again, but his tongue keeps failing him. It's impossible to make out the syllables. A hand emerges from the blankets, trying to gesticulate something. And then it dawns upon you, clear and surreal. Pig, he says. He's trying to call you a pig. His hand falls back on the bed, limp and defeated. A loud snore escapes his mouth. He's asleep again. The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing. The air in the room is stale.
Trying to sneak up.
The tracks are as they have ever been, a bit more worn perhaps. Fortunately, maybe, probably, an ominous warning. Yes, an
Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit. Fuck no, art shit. It's not art, it's fucking brutal. Nothing pussy about it. The fuck out of here!
Even the pigs think it's garbage.
Look, bitches, Kuno's gonna wrap it up for you. Talk business or fuck off. Enough. Alright, so you got Kuno's kilo. Here is how we do it. First, you give Kuno Kuno's kilo, then Kuno gives you half back. That's how we split it. It's the best way. Street way. Word on the street is, you sent your little friend in dressed as a hooker, distracted him. That's some sick shit. Tell your little slanty-eyed friend, respect from the Kuno. Kuno wants to hear all about it, but first we split the kilo, then we shoot the shit. Kuno knows what Kuno means.
Kuno means gram.
All right. Kuno knew you tried that sneaky pig shit on him.
Tell him, Kuno.
Kuno's got brains. This shit doesn't surprise Kuno. So Kuno's gonna give you one more chance. Know this, pig. Shit is major.
Major fucking choice, pig.
Kuno won't take this shit lightly. The pieces are moving.
It's hard to see how not giving a boy a bag of amphetamine would cause some catastrophic cascade response.
Tick, 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 tick. Decision time. What's it gonna be? You gonna fuck the Kuno? Alright. You fucked the Kuno. Everybody, Kuno got fucked by his pocket pig. Just when we getting our business on, the pig throws it all away.
I told you he can't be trusted. I told you. I told you he'd steal the shit.
Relax, see? We got plenty of kilo. Kilo underground, in the tree. This ain't about that. This is about you and Kuno. You mismanaged this shit. Now everything is fucked between us. How are you gonna make this up to the Kuno, huh?
There is genuine disappointment below the act, sire. In truth, Kuno doesn't really believe there's anything you can do to make up for this. The damage is irreparable.
The fuck do you know about Kuno's life? Kuno's got plans. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got plans.
6 meters underground, below piping from before the war, the collapsed remains of the Martinez storm drain system. There are 2 stolen flashlights with piles of batteries next to them, beside 2 bedrolls, in the dark and opening into the lower tunnels.
Yeah? How the fuck are you still alive, pig? What? Fuck right. Kuno's dad was sleeping like a bum. Kuno told ya. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about anything. Fucking breaking and entering shit. That's nothing to Kuno's dad. You got lucky, pig. Kuno knew this. Kuno's fucking violent fiend dad's been drinking hard lately. Kuno knew you have a way in. Narrow window. Kuno window. Yeah, Kuno's dad is fucking nothing. Fucking coma shit, stroke shit. Kuno's dad is so fucking violent. He's had a stroke many times. Shit, Kuno's gonna have one too. Gonna be just like Kuno's dad. Speed shit, crime shit, fucking on the bed. Kuno's gonna go out like Kuno's dad. Revachol West style.
Stop saying all this sad shit, Kuno.
There's a touch of grief in there.
Fuck are you talking, sad? Kuno's got hard shit, death shit, nothing shit. Get your fucking nun-ass out of here before Kuno fucks it dead. You think 'cause you took Kuno's speed, Kuno's gonna sub like a turn into... Kuno ain't turning into shit. Kuno is that shit.
Kuno won! Oh, you won, Kuno!
He did not win. There is a crack in there now, and it's spreading across the face of his certainty.
fuck right they were. Fucking 3 years or some shit. Yeah, that's right. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about that electricity and light shit. Just wants to pound on people and drink. That's right, it's a shithole. Kuno's gonna move underground, Leroy shit, ancient shit. Kuno's gonna live in a fucking catacomb.
Yeah, in a tomb, Kuno.
That didn't change shit, pig. That only made things worse. Fucking social worker shit. It doesn't work, pig.
It doesn't work, Kuno. Only our shit works.
She must repeat it. Use every chance to confirm that version of reality.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno...
Hey,
Hello, officer. So it was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry. Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid or the missing locusts.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season when it's warmer. Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery.
Wow. Co-discovery. You'd be famous. This would show them all.
Everything's still cool here. You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream. You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already, and the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer.
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can...
No luck? Why not take another look, officer?
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
The locusts aren't doing all too well.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour.
Hell yeah.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. Nay, I haven't seen anyone lately. This is my little cinder block town.
She's being evasive. She knows something.
Ah, I should have known. This is yet another union mess. I'm not afraid of them, you know. We are not in the habit of being afraid around here. There's not much to tell. People come and go. Now, was there something else?
You should look around your shack. Maybe she's rented it out to others too.
Tequila sunset.
My jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Faun? That's medium concept stuff, not my style at all. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe you should lay off the booze. It's fucking with your head.
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend. I'm calling it. It's neurological.
That shit is so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah, okay. I'm sure it looks great on you.
Wonderful. Classy.
This last one is the most Martinet story. I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest.
A shovel hits the sand somewhere behind the reeds, near an abandoned construction yard. The young men look over their shoulders suspiciously.
Magic animals? No, Tequila. Most people... Hey! All kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. You know, obsessive types. Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard. The first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya. That is, if he even existed. Anyway, sometime later, he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff.
A paradigm-shattering...
But then, something turned. You see, it's widely known that nose candy, you know Tequila, nose candy, the White Railroad, party powder.
He's talking about cocaine, baby.
Shit, yeah, Tequila. You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just now, as you might imagine, snorting that much...
Right. Wrong. Do it all the time. All day, baby.
Hey, Tequila. Pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance. An advert so... Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine." But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy,
That's almost certainly anatomically impossible. Wrong again, nerd.
That's right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritsian pure. Not that cut-rate shit. There are those who believe the designer was buried with this quarter key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses.
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull. Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead, that's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there. Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in...
No, my grandma always told me he's great.
My only question is, where does one get a shovel?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry.
I'm pretty sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
Don't listen to him or his grandma.
No, my grandma told me.
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend. The archaeologists act all official about it. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it.
Honest men on an honest quest.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on.
What?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. And second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the cocaine skull justice. You need new gear. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of...
Wait. Maybe there's another...
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Not that I can think of. Can't really remember seeing...
It's a touchy topic. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards, she stands.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water. Almost magically. What I can do for you is answer some questions.
By love, you did.
She is memorizing your badge number.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that... You're back. Good. What more lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slow. We all...
You? You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso Mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol. Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital. There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help. Nothing more. Yes. Permit. And if those authorities drink so hard they glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound.
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
It must be. This is the greatest and the kindest arrangement the atoms had in them.
Indeed. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it. Elysium. It does. There are those who would call it hell. A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists. Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona, yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be. They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world.
The cold seeps into you. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on Whatever this all is, your arms hang down by your sides.
The Pale is not, technically speaking. It is the opposite of reality. Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interoceanary mass. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. The most disco thing you will ever see. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gills, officer. Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of Grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely, then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, Detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say,
why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. Is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale? You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. We're in Martinez. A casual term of endearment.
She refers to your correspondent.
Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgot I'm not a... This place used to... It's not... Yes.
Known to vast.
Caillou.
It is clear, and to humanity at...
Revachol,
as if it...
History detective. The nations of the... In the DeLoreans, they say by that we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money... Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
A collection of tall ghosts.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building.
Silence. The water, the light. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete.
Was there something else you wanted to know? Unimportant, as I said. The mineral rights were all... They are what... Anyway.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask... She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am an Ultra. Haven't you... I can...
Forgive, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
A fitting... When the dust settled, the Liberals with due...
While
I would then...
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes.
Yes. What I'm glad to have been of assistance. The little... The sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning.
As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, the edge of a floorboard next hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust, but nothing particular catches your eye. Something bad. Someone's night thoughts. You stick your hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like outside. Fine dust. And then, something hard wrapped. A small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9mm bullet, to be exact. The floorboard doesn't care. But maybe the washerwoman does. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling. This isn't ammunition against you.
Our tenant, the police, damn that girl. Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into? That girl.
She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before. But this seems different.
Yes, early with the dogs.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up.
I cleaned it, like I always do. No.
The truth, sire.
She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation. No, she was mostly silent this time. She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent.
You could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill.
I do tell. Exit from what? No, she's a fighter.
She really believes that.
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape millions she'd made. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots.
It's a peninsula. She might be trapped.
You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived. Are you sure you'd rather stay here? Get a nice coast...
The failed electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again.
What more do you want to know about that poor girl? I don't...
It's...
You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You... Yes, it's going to be...
The failed electric mural.
One...
She really means it. It's an honest plea.
She's a good girl. Whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in.
The locusts aren't doing all too well. Morel's trap stands at the locusts, dazed from being transported. So they're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here. As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave. He appears completely at ease.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again. What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market. And well, I wish to see the situation firsthand. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Yes. There's nothing like a stroll along the coast to lift one's spirits. Really? Here? How can you be sure? Ah, a very useful gift for a police detective, I'm sure. Fascinating how much history is contained right here. If only one knows where to look for it.
Are you just going to let him get away with these generalities and euphemisms?
Well said. Let us just be grateful that we don't live in such fascinating times. Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. My
God, of course it does. These moral intern types.
the Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? You knew there was something strange about this one. He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it wants to know.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol. And listening! It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitoring instruments. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Bristol-Mune Convention.
The Bristol-Mune Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the treatment of military personnel and civilians in theaters of war, as well as occupied territories.
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. Unfortunately not, no. I don't have the pleasure.
This sounds like something that programmer you met in the church might help with.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in... Always my pleasure.
There's no way the perp is in here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed. Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable. But I like the spirit. And dangerous. Dangerous too. Worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, a bottle, and a dilapidated old comms tower to warm his hands before he pulled the trigger? There are no markings on the ground for a tripod. He would have had to lie on a mattress. This is simply not a good spot for a 1.2 kilometer shot. The salty water has corroded the ladder to nothing but two thin orange rails. In addition, there is no stable nest up there. It does look extremely rickety. A smoking assailant who favors Timotiri, to Ostra or Duhan, cigarette butts are part of the campfire set. They're also everywhere. Timotiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmaran. The Suzerainties population was mostly Ilmaran Areopagites, up to 97%. The region was known for its tobacco export, hence the name. Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a silhouette of a boy wearing a coffee hat. There, 1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, through a thick snowstorm melting flake by flake in the waves, you see the smallest rectangle, barely visible. A glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you would see a young woman's shape move behind the glass. Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. Don't be so pessimistic. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious.
Yes, what is it? What? No.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
Yes? No. That's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it. The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse, whatever that means. Because she's from Martinez, and people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil. Yes, but she literally started praying for the higher powers when once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. It looked like some Semenine magic. Thanks. Do I look like someone who has time for side projects at this moment?
If you want her help, maybe you should help her first. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled 2 empty bottles. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry. You see a once bright mural towering above you. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains.
Ah, yes, their famous motto. A fine example of technological optimism from...
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical. How ironic. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first. Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the cold of the rain.
She? I don't know who you mean, but...
You try to peer in, but Lieutenant Kitsuragi stands in front of a mirror, fixing his orange bomber jacket. You should be asking him that question.
Hello again. No.
Hello, dear. Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him. I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
You've come so far. You can't leave those locusts there, waiting on the ghost read with no one to witness when it appears.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I...
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this?
Different? How?
Answering a question with a question, for example. Defensive isn't her usual style.
I'm in doubt, sweetie. That's all. It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but...
And when a police officer asks...
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood... Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. Morel's so proud of it.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so eager that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief
That I am a queen? And extraordinary.
But now we're both getting old and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care. All qualities these two see.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
You know, this reminds you of the Pericarnassian theory of love. In essence, love is a relay out of death. Generation by generation, our love remains in our progeny. Lay some of that on her.
Oh, sweetie, I don't think the Pericarnassians were thinking of people in my situation. I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived, on our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I didn't tell him that story...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory. Not the memory of the memory, but...
Rising. Unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary. Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. Oh, sweetie, please don't get stuck on a dream. Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road, Jamrock.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
You too, sweetie. Thank you for everything, truly.
A waste of time. A dream. A lie. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine sputters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, it's snowing. Somewhere out there, a kilometer to the southeast, a gust of wind shakes the felled building, rattling dusty windows, beckoning with strange coldness to ask the wind once more.